What's going on, YouTube fam? This is your boy J Money here, and I really hope you guys had a fantastic New Year's Eve / New Year's. Hope you guys didn't drink too much. Maybe you had a little sparkling wine here and there. Whatever the case may be. Hope it was great. Got your New Year's resolutions? Maybe, maybe not. As for me, I don't really have any New Year's resolutions because I truly believe that you should always be working on improving yourself as a person all the time, every day of the week, always getting better in general as a person. So that's why I personally do not believe in a New Year's resolution, unless you want to set a certain goal that you want to fulfill before the end of the year. That's fine too, because when you set goals and when you set dates to reach that goal, you will end up probably achieving that goal earlier than your expected time. So that's also good. Anyway, starting off the new year, we are going to talk about Master Rule 5 and 5 very, very important sleeper decks for Master Rule 5. See, a lot of people have been talking about decks like DDDs, Totally Awesome Heroes, Fluffles, Burning Abyss. We know, but we know about those. Those are the obvious ones. But there are some decks that are just bubbling underneath the surface that very few people have talked about. So, with that being said, guys, also, if we can get this video to, 70 likes, I will actually start testing decks and combos and stuff post Master Rule 5, if that's what you guys want me to do. So yeah, 75 likes, I think we can do it. So, with that being said, we got one honorable mention being Pendulums. Let's see, House of Champs has brushed up on this, and Truth Gaming has brushed up on this as well. Granted, I have said this a while ago, but, Pendulums got buffed rather than nerfed because you're ending on XCs and links and things like that. Or not links, but, synchros. Oh, links too. But yeah, we all know about this. So, for those of you who don't know, yes, you are still restricted to the extra monster zone when it comes to the Pendulum summon, but the end board is going to be a lot stronger because your end board typically consists of synchros and XCs, so you can put more negates on the board than you were able to before. So, that's the honorable mention. Now let's go ahead and move on to number 5 on our list, and we have Dinosaurs. Yes. Okay, now, granted, Dinosaurs was a deck pre-Master Rule 4 that probably was one of the most least affected decks, but the power ceiling drastically dropped, and the deck kind of did get reduced to a more of a ghost setting strategy. But for those of you who remember pre-Master Rule 4, if you went first with Dinosaurs, you could do a lot. You could, if your hand was really broken, you could put up VFD, Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, Logia, and a Bahamut Shark with a Totally Awesome. You can do all that if you open the right hand. And so that sounds pretty insane, right? Well, that's kind of because it is. Not to mention, we just got announced just yesterday of this new level 1 dinosaur monster. I keep forgetting what it's called, but it looks like it's got a bunch of pearls in it. It is a level 1, and that card is absolutely amazing. Simply for the fact that, 1, it is a level 1, so you can literally discard Miscellaneous Source, banish, summon it, pop a baby, and add, a DD Crow to your hand, and special summon an Oviraptor, all without normal summoning. So, you get to essentially do the same pop-offs without normal summoning, and so you can save your normal summon for a level 4, like let's say your Megalo Smasher, whatever. So, Dinosaurs, looking real strong. Once again, don't underestimate that deck. That deck could definitely go first come Master Rule 5. Now, I know it's Master Rule April 2020 revision. I know this, but Master Rule 5, so much faster. That's the accepted term now. So, we're going to continue to call it Master Rule 5. Anyway, let's move on to number 4. Alright, guys. Now, this is a deck I'm personally excited to see. And, it's strange for me as a player. For a lot of you know, I'm a combo player. But this is a deck that I did want to play before Master Rule 4, but there was a couple cards that were expensive. And I'm talking about Wind Witch, Artifact, and Vote. That deck, the anti-meta deck of Zoo. To where you would start off turn 1 with your Ice Bell, ending on your unkillable Crystal Wing, Raijin, set Artifact Sanctum, and say your go, and you summon Scythe on your opponent's turn, and they just lose the game. And to go second, you can supplement some Kaijus and things like that. They all have different types of attributes and all that stuff, so you can summon all different kinds of invoked monsters with those said Kaijus as well. Yeah, guys, that is still, I feel like that is still a strong deck. Now, you couldn't really play it Pro Smash 4 because you wanted to end on 2 extra deck monsters, being the Crystal Wing and the Raijin. But now, with Master 5, you can do that again. The Windwitch engine, think of it, I wanted to play the deck back then, but at the time, I think Macabas were like $60 and Ice Spells were like $28 a piece. So that's what really stopped me from playing that deck, which was essentially the price tag. But the deck is a lot cheaper now. I think Ice Spells got the reprint. I know Glass Spell did. Macabas got their reprint in Shadows of Valhalla. Secret Alistairs look real nice. Invocations, I think, are kind of expensive because I think in Shadows of Valhalla, I think Invocation was the second hardest card to pull outside of Ash. And, well, yeah. Now, keep in mind, the deck was strong back then, and now the deck has even more tools that it can play with. Cards like Trap Trick to set either your Artifact Sanctum or your Dimensional Barrier. And there's new floodgates that can very well take advantage of, like there can only be one. I don't think any of the invoked extra deck monsters in general are dragon, right? So Crystal Wing is safe. All the invoked extra deck monsters are all different types, and they're all separate from Alistair. So there can only be one, maybe a mainstay for Windwitch Artifact invoked. Again, this is a deck that has been mentioned a few times, but not a lot of people are really paying too much attention to it. And I think it's going to be a deck that you really need to watch out for come Master Rule 5. Because I still think the deck is just as strong now, especially now with all the new toys it has now. I feel like the deck will be just as strong now as it was back then. So that's my... Alright guys, number 3. And this is a wild one. But we have Adignisters, man. I truly think Konami designed this archetype in the mind, with the thought of Master Rule 5 in the back of their head. Reason being, because like DDDs, they have everything under the rainbow. They got fusions, they got Ritual, they got Exceed, they have Link. I don't think they have Pendulum. Again, I'm not too well versed on Adignisters, but I know that their potential was kind of diluted by Master Rule 4, essentially. And I feel like Master Rule 5 can truly take the hidden potential of Adignisters and unlock it. There's not really too much to say there regarding Adignisters because a lot of you guys know it basically has every single mechanic, I think, outside of Pendulum. And I feel like it would take one gifted individual, not really gifted, but one pretty smart individual to see that said potential come Master Rule 5 and expose it to everybody else. I'm not going to be that player because, again, I'm not well versed in Adignisters. So, with that being said, I do suggest you guys look into Adignisters now. We don't have it. We don't have Initial Soul just yet, but we will look into it and see, just how much better it is come Master Rule 5. So, yeah, with that being said, that's my number 3. Alright, number 2, guys, we have Lunalight. And I'm not just talking about just this pure Lunalight. I'm talking about any deck that is either pure Lunalight or any deck that can take advantage of a Lunalight package. Just regardless if Azathoth stays in the game or not, just the Lunalight engine itself is just screams value talent. That the engine itself just provides you with so much value by itself that anything that can splash a Lunalight engine can really just raise the ceiling. Lunalight's raised the ceiling of almost any deck it's being put in. Granted, it has to be in a deck that doesn't value its normal summon. So, luckily, even, when they're not restricted by Master Rule 4, there's still the fact that hey, if this deck needs its normal summon, it probably won't incorporate Lunalights. So, Lunalights aren't, that generic. And keep in mind, the art engine does take about 19 to 20 cards. And, it takes up a few extra decks. You gotta play your Niala and your Acid Thought. Assuming Acid Thought stays legal. But I figured you'd still play Niarla anyway, because that outside of Redoer is like the only 2 Xyz in the game that detach as effect and not cost, so you can get off your Yellow Martin. So you would still need to play. I don't even think you need to play Barricade Blocker anymore, because again, it's not clogging your extra monster zone. So, whatever. I probably would play Redoer instead though, because it's a dark monster. So, if you still want to make curious, because I know Niarla's an Earth, so. Yeah, anyway, that's going off on a tangent regarding Lunalight. For those of you who know anything about the Lunalight engine, knows it's really strong, and it'll only get stronger come Master World 5, because then you no longer have to commit extra monsters to make a Barricade Board Blocker, which I think you still kind of want to make, because you want the discard. You want to discard the Serenade Dance out of your hand. So, I don't know, guys. Again, whether it be pure Lunalight, just a straight Lunalight OTK deck, or just Lunalight hybrids, watch out for them all, because I got a feeling they're going to be a lot stronger than what people expect, and it's something that you guys need to be ready for. Alright guys, number one guys. I think this is like probably the deck that has been spoken about the least, and that is plants, guys. Plants. Yes, that's correct. Plants. I've covered plants a couple times on my channel. Every time I do something regarding plants, a ban list hits them indirectly. Whether it be Agrippine, Summon Sorceress, all kinds of things. The deck now, come Master World 5, is basically, it's one of those decks that was chained up. It could do a lot, but all those pieces that it had to get sucked up into Link monsters a lot, and it just severely diluted just what all plants can do. But now, with the floodgates open, no pun intended, the deck can basically do whatever it wants. Yes, we don't have Summon Stroke still, but we are getting not only Cloth Heap and Ignition Assault, which, every plant-based deck plays the Predaplant engine into Cloth Heap, summon Seraphonite. Cloth Heap summons a level 4 or lower from your graveyard in defense position, and it keeps its effects, which is really strong. So you will have Cloth Heap and Ignition Assault, and you will have Krishan Needlefiber, which essentially supplements the replacement for Summon Sorceress, because with Summon Sorceress you were typically summoning Spore. You were either summoning Spore or Glow Bulb. You were summoning some tuner that from the deck, regardless. So that essentially fills in those gaps right there. And not to mention, in the old build that you guys remembered, I was still playing Ultimate Zolkin and Crystal. I was still doing it. I could do it with ease. Now it's even better, because now you don't have to commit so many resources into a Saryuja, and you can overlay for rank 6s. You can do a lot more now, because you don't have to, exhaust materials into things outside of Fiber, Cloth Heap, and Jasmine. You'll probably still make Hieratic Seal, because you still want to do something with Ultimaya. You don't want to just keep it on the field. You want to make more negates, obviously. But nonetheless, I feel like plants have gotten a huge boost, and not just because of the Master Rule, but because of the new releases soon to come. So, guys, I truly believe that plants will be the #1 sleeper deck that nobody is talking about, and that just in the right hands, I feel like plants can just really K people's shit in. So, with that being said, guys, hey, let me know what you guys think about that list of the top 5 sleeper decks of my choice. Is there anything that I still am not aware of or haven't thought of that other players haven't thought of as well that you may be aware of? Let me know down in the comments below. And once again, we get this video up to about 75 likes. I actually will start testing decks and doing combos post Master Rule 5 if you guys so choose. So with that being said, guys, start hitting that like button. Subscribe to the channel also, because, well, we like Rogue and we like combos. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. This is J Money, and I am signing out.